But otherwise, the body's exactly as it was when you guys left it. And literally, as soon as they throw it onto the table, they all walk out of the room and shut the door. They don't say anything.
I'm gonna look at Kieran.
I'm just gonna start just rifling through his shit. She's looking for something. Like you can clearly say she's looking for something.
Okay. So you start rifling through his stuff. You can see, I mean, he still had on his back his quiver with a couple of arrows linked into it.
That's what I'm looking for.
Sure.
I examine them. What do they look like?
I mean, the arrow is of perfect construction. I mean, it is beautiful. Mm-hmm. The type of feather they must have used for it is absolutely, like, I mean, it's held, despite the fact that you got, like, blown up, killed, electrified, thrown around, all that stuff. It's still, the feathers are holding really true form. The shaft of it is perfectly straight, perfectly designed. The head of the arrow looks like it was dipped in silver. And the emblem on the side of the arrow is very, very, very unique.
Yeah.
While I'm watching her, while I'm watching her inspect this arrow, I was gonna pick up one and be like, this is what I was shot with before rushing to the city. He must have had his eyes on me as well.
He was clearly working for the Silver Flame in some manner or another.
The real question is why.
He might have just been a believer. He might have just been, I don't know.
No, why attack us? Why kill Stalbor?
I don't know. Who did you guys piss off in the Silver Flame?
I didn't piss anyone off from the Silver. I mean, I've pissed off quite a few people.
Yeah.
You've seen who I've pissed off. I'm not sure who worshipped the Silver Flame.
Don't forget, you did have a conversation with the little girl at the beginning of all of this, but she obviously didn't give everything away. She just said some stuff to you. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna keep looking for I'm looking for connections to the Silver Flame so I can go to the church and just demand answers. That's what I'm doing, Scott. So I'm looking for. I'll grab the arrows, of course, but anything else he has on him.
So the mask itself is also very unique looking. It has the mask itself looks like it was dipped in silver. It has flames coming off the side of it, like ornate flames, all in the silver filigree coming off the side of it and whatnot. His armor looked like at one point in time it was extremely well made. Now it's fried and singed and has flesh melted to it and stuff like that. Like, it's all sorts of messed up. Same thing with all of his other equipment that he has. Like, it was well made, but most of it's completely destroyed. His short sword and his dagger are not on him because... Oh, wait, are they on him? No, they are on him because he sheathed them and was running. So his short sword and his dagger are on him. So his short sword, again, very, very, very well made. The dagger itself is oh my god, it's just beautiful. Like, it's perfectly ornate. It looks like a rising flame the way the crisp blade moves. It looks like a rising flame. The rest of his stuff, though, nothing really stands out for you. No amulets to the Silver Flame, no journal, no anything like that kind of identifies him more of who he is. He does have a sack on his side with coins inside of it. Do you investigate that?
Investigate?
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to roll.
We totally investigate that.
So he's got a handful of copper in there. He has a bunch of silver. He also has some gold in there, but he also has a hefty handful of platinum.
Wow.
I mean, it's not really something I care about. It might. I mean, they could be signed as payment. Like, if he was carrying some platinum on him. I highly doubt he's planning on spending it. It's probably given to him.
So you think that perhaps this was a hit?
Might have been.
Well, we need to figure out who paid him.
Do we want to take the money, or do you want to take count of it? We can have the guards discharge and make up a formal document, I suppose.
I think I'd prefer that.
Okay, but I am gonna take the weapons and the mask.
Yeah.
And the arrows.
I'll have the mask, and you take all the weapons and arrows. And
I just throw them in the back in my pack. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys take everything you need, and then what do you do?
I'm going to the fucking church of the Silver Flame.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with Kieran.
So you guys take everything you need, and you go walking out of the place. When you go walking out, the guards clearly see you holding the arrows and the mask. Did you take the dagger too, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They see you holding all these things. It's pretty obvious. And so as they see that, they kind of look up at you, and they see those things on you. He says, can I help you with anything else? While scratching things off of a piece of paper.
Just make sure
I'll
you
say
have. Yeah, make sure you have a count of the gold that he had on him.
the platinum.
We think it might have been paid out to him.
He nods and he says, "I'll make sure I get that right here. Always accurate documentation."
This guy tipped this man. If we have
Real
the
hero of the story.
Wow. Always accurate documentation as he's erasing. Oh. I don't say anything about that. We
Yeah,
nod,
no.
I assume, and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys start heading out and heading towards the Silver Flame. So when you guys head to one of the churches of the Silver Flame here, are you looking for upper districts or lower districts?
With the amount of platinum he had on him, probably upper. Like, it seemed like it was some type of
nice
payout.
equipment too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you go to the Church of the Silver Flame over in the upper. Give me 1 second to find it. About Eberron, geography. Scroll down, Sharn. Is it Upper Memphis? Not to be confused with Mythos. Fine shops, Art Golden, Sharn Opera House, Morgrave University. Yes, we will have it be here. I'm pretty sure this is where it is. I'm in the Upper Mythos district. You're going, or Upper Mythos Plateau, I should say. You go there, and that's where the Church of the Silver Flame is. So when you go walking into the church called the it's called the Warm Embrace is the name of this in particular church. And so when you're walking into it, everybody around you is either in the middle of some sort of prayer or having quiet conversation off to the side. But the place is actually full of a considerable number of people.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I walk. Is it like a reception area, like a desk or thing? Certainly not. Churches work.
I mean,
Is
yes.
there like a host?
I mean, no, I mean, it's not like there's a it's a pretty open and welcoming church. So there's like there are people there that clearly work that are clearly of the clergy.
Mm-hmm. So if there's no like actual like table or like stand or whatever, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna I'm gonna hold my hand out for the mask to Luca.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hand her it.
All right, and I'm just gonna go walk up to whoever I think is like the highest like.
Absolutely, he's in the middle of a conversation with two other people, but there's somebody who's clearly a bishop to the Silver Flame here.
Mm-hmm. So I'll walk up to him.
Absolutely. Do you interrupt the conversation, or do you allow him to finish what he's saying?
I interrupt the conversation.
Okay, so you come walking over, and what do you say?
Oh, I'm just gonna like just toss the bloody mass of a mask like at his feet.
He's like, "Oh my, child, are you okay?" And they're kind of like looking at you and seeing that the two of you. Well, actually, Kieran's uninjured, isn't she? So looking at Luca and seeing that he's injured, sitting next to Kieran, he's like, "Are you okay? Are you here seeking aid from the church?"
Yeah, actually, it looks like a member of the Silver Flame just killed a friend of ours, so I'm looking for answers.
Whoa, I'm terribly sorry to hear this. Please. And he looks to the mask on the ground. He looks to one of the people he's talking to, like expectantly, and the person reaches down to pick it up for him, but making like a bit of a gross face. And he's like, "If you would come with me, I would like to speak to you in private."
All right, fine.
Do I have to?
I would join, yeah.
Okay, so you guys walk with him to a back area where it's not like he has an office or a desk where he sits down or anything like that. You walk into a back standing area where it's just separated and quiet from everybody else. Maybe this is like a confessional or something. I don't know. You guys don't go to this church, so so you go walking into that area and he's like, "Please, child, tell me what it is that concerns you. You have reason to believe that the Silver Flame killed a friend of yours?"
And I'll start dumping out all the arrows onto his desk.
And he so when you kind of like dump them out or whatever, he'll pick one of them up and look at it and he'll be like, "This is impeccable craftsmanship. I mean, clearly,
impeccable fucking silver arrows."
Yes, no, this is clearly made by someone of the faith.
Yeah, clearly.
Only a hand guided by the Silver Flame could craft something so magnificent. So, who is it that had these arrows? I couldn't tell you, child.
All right, I pull a dagger and I set it at his desk.
And you put that in his
None
desk?
of these look familiar. Yeah.
Roll me an insight check.
I will use an action point for this too.
Luca too, by the way, he's there.
Okay.
Nice. A little better.
I'm not gonna use an action point.
Okay. So you look at him as you ask him that,
How many do
and
we
he
have this
seems.
level?
I'm sorry.
How many action points do we have this level? What is it again? Is it half your level?
Half your level, divide, round it down, +5. So what level are you? 5, so 7. I think at level 5 you still only roll 1d6. Yeah. So, anyways, you so you ask him like, so you put the dagger down like, what about this? And he actually seems like the dagger is. It's not like, oh my god, I know exactly what this is, but he clearly has some level of recognition about this dagger. And he's like, he picks up and he holds it in his hand for a moment. And he's like, I really cannot tell you who it is that would have owned this.
Really? No idea at all. Not an inkling. Not a clue. Don't know who made it. Perhaps.
You're asking who crafted a dagger only 2 years, or my apologies, 3 years after a war just ended that spanned the entire continent. This dagger could have been made by any one of tens or hundreds of thousands of people for any number of millions of people.
All right. If that's your official stance, cool. That's fine. If I find out you're lying, I'm back and fucking killing you.
Listen, I understand that you are very upset right now, child, and I understand that you need time to accept and to be angry and to grieve. However,
I've killed worse people than you. It'll be fine.
Understand that you are making death threats
and ruin your life.
I can see that you are, in fact, a member of a house, but I am a bishop of this church, and I can't tolerate such things.
I don't give a fuck about your church. Somebody in my friend died from a member here. I'm gonna find out who.
Yeah, like Luca would normally be like, Kieran, calm down, Kieran, calm down. And instead, he's just kind of like cross-armed right over her shoulder, just staring at this guy, like as intimidating as possible, just like, fuck this guy. Like,
I genuinely hope you're able to realize who it was that did this. We're able to capture them, and appropriate justice is able to be served through the courts of Sharn. However, as it stands, I cannot aid you. I suggest that you seek spiritual guidance from whoever it is that provides such a thing for you. And if you need it here, I'm more than willing to provide what I can for you.
Kieran actually laughs at that. Yeah, no, I really hope you had nothing to do with this, because my body count is gonna be really fucking huge after this.
I'm sorry to hear that you feel this way. May I have your name?
Kieran de Larendar.
De Larendar, of course. I will pray for you, Kieran, for this day and many to come. And for you, Sir Denith. That was questioning.
I hope this church fucking burns. I walk out.
He like spits at the floor and follows her out.
So he spits at the floor. She said, I hope this church fucking burns. And as she says that, and he responds saying, as do I, for it is only through the holy light of the silver flame that we find ourselves in true glory in the afterlife.
Luca's gonna take whatever was on the table, the mask or the dagger or the arrows, just grab it, spit at the floor, and walk out.
Okay. So you grab up the stuff, you walk out, the dagger, the arrows, all the stuff, of course, absolutely, and you guys go walking out. Where are you guys heading to now? You kind of like heading back to Reich to check on him at the moment, or
back to the hospital?
I don't know.
Okay. So Reich, a long time ago, we're talking like they've been gone for several hours, right? So we're talking like.
Sorry, I was just giggling like crazy.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So they've been gone for several hours. So we're talking like maybe 15 minutes after they left. Reich is lying there being all like introspective or whatever. Does he eventually sit up? Does he go over to...
As soon as everyone starts moving away from Stallbor,
yep,
Reich sits back up again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That was probably about 10 minutes after your friends left. Yep.
And then like, even if someone tries to stop me, Reich's a big guy, so he's gonna just stand up, like grabbing onto his wounds. I don't give a fuck how low health I am at, and I'm just like holding my side. I'm gonna stumble over the Stallbor.
You're standing over Stallbor. Go ahead.
I look around.
Everybody, when they see you doing this, nobody's stupid. They look to you like, do you? No, he's good, and they walk out of the room, and they leave the door like slightly ajar so they can get, so it's one of those like. They can get in quickly in case they hear you fall or something, but they give you your...
So everyone leaves? I look down at him. I'm going to make a medicine check.
Absolutely.
Don't get like a 9 or an 8 like everyone else.
I have a high wisdom, so get at me.
Nice.
Wow. Same result.
1 second, I'm sorry. I have to look something up because my computer's being weird. So sorry. All right. So, anyways, yeah, you look at Stalbor. You look over his body. You check. There's no pulse. There's no breath. There's no anything. Just a cold corpse lying in front of you.
I sit there for a moment, just like staring at the body. And then I just kind of like look around and I just. And I just like I like seem stunned for a moment, and then I reach down and I check again.
Okay.
I double, I triple, I quadruple check.
You come to terms with the fact that, well, I don't know whether or not you come to terms, but after all of those, you see that he's no longer with you, man. He's gone.
I take a step back and I just look at him. I just stand there and in just complete silence for like 5 minutes, just staring at him.
As those 5 minutes come to a close, you finally, probably, however it is that you handle it, maybe it's just you eventually just start nodding to yourself, and then you realize you've been nodding to yourself for like a minute, like one of those, like, I should probably get up now. But like, minutes pass and you finally realize, oh yeah, no, I actually do have to get up now. So you're like nodding to yourself, kind of like, all right, no, really, I need to do something, even just turn away, look away, something. As you do that, all of a sudden you see Stalwar go, not like a big deep breath, not like a huge inhalation of air, just like a breath of air like he would normally take. And he blinks once or twice before his eyes just completely open up.
Stalbor? You son of a bitch, I knew it. I knew you weren't dead. Medic! I call to the other room.
Hey, you're not the face I thought would be greeting me on the other side.
Well, you son of a bitch. I don't care what face you were expecting, you got mine. Medic!
And medics come rushing in the room. It's funny when they come rushing in the room. You see that, like, you can smell it in like the materials that they're holding with them. They're holding very familiar smells to you. Like they have tons of like pots and salves and stuff like that that are more akin to traditional healing for hobgoblins and people of Dargun. So they come rushing in to go treat you because they're hearing you call for a medic. Like you're in pain. But then they notice Stalbor, like sitting up or moving, and
he's sitting up a bit, and his finger is inside the hole above his heart. The way I would describe it is almost like a spiral of black coming out, and there's a hole, and he's just like just doing that, like kind of like shocked and stunned.
One of the people that came rushing in holding like a pot full of stuff, they drop the clay pot, it shatters, the goop all over the ground. That stuff's rare and expensive. And then like somebody's like, Mika! And like a couple moments later, Mika comes rushing in. Nobody had gone to Stalbor yet. Everybody's like way back. And Mika comes in, she brushes past, and like she stops to regard Stalbor for a moment. And then she comes immediately rushing over, but as she's rushing over, she's like whipping out a stone from inside of her pack, and she's pressing the stone up against his chest. Actually, kind of funny, right next to where the hole was that he has there. It almost like slips in for a second. She holds the stone against his chest, and she's staring at it, but nothing is happening. And she's staring at it, and she's like, how are you here?
You're the doctor.
It matters very little. He is here. He yet breathes. I swear to the gods above and the devils below, I thought you were dead, friend. I fought as best I could. But whatever that thing was, it bested me, and I thought you were dead. But you're not. You continue to surprise me, Stalbor.
Stalbor nods, but it's clear, maybe not to Reich, that he has no idea what you're talking about. Because I mean,
Reich's very perceptive.
Stalbor, yeah, exactly. Stalbor just was down. He was looking at Denton's hourglass. He was leaving. He was going to find Luca, and then he was down. So he has no idea what happened at all.
I look at the doctor. I say, a moment before you begin your examination to catch him up to speed, and I'm just gonna kind of give him a recount of the events. I say, whilst we were inside, what's his name?
Denton.
Whilst we were inside Denton's house, we were attacked by some miscreant. I believe he was a member of the Silver Flame Faith. I'm familiar with their
Doctrine.
assassins.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Well, you were assaulted from behind, a coward's move, and he was able to quickly remove you from the fight. I attempted to fight him back, but I was not successful. I was knocked unconscious during the fray, but somehow we ended up here. I'm assuming that our companions, looking to the doctor at this point, had some hand in that. Scott, looking to the doctor.
No.
No?
I was concerned for a moment that you were not living. But, and once again, she's kind of like holding the stone in her hands. You're not. Not living.
When he sort of like realizes what she's doing, he like just kind of grabs a little too hard and moves her away a little too quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no matter what that says, I'm evidently here, aren't I? And he like sits up a bit more, but he's not right, so he sits up a bit more and is like, and he like swears in several languages, all kind of mingling into one. It's like one hybrid swear word that doesn't make any sense.
It's Stallies.
It's just pain. It's just pain. And just falls back down, and then just sort of is like, ugh.
So yeah, so like you said, you kind of like gesture her, like shove her away quickly, and she like kind of stumbles back, like almost.
He doesn't
like
actually shove.
No, I know what you're saying. It's like too hard, but
She's
not
a
like
halfling,
not like you're being manhandling or whatever. I get what you're saying. So she like again kind of like stumbles away because she goes with it a little too easily because she was distracted herself. But then when she finally comes to, and she's like, right, so you're alive and you need medical attention to stay that way. So we will treat you the way we would have the entire time. Somebody clean up this mess. What is this? That is a waste of 80 plus gold pieces right there. You need to clean up that mess immediately. Bandages, people, bandages. We have a bleeding elf on the table. Let's go. And she immediately starts like giving orders and having people buzz around and start trying to lend aid to Stalbor.
Stalbor like reaches out and he actually straight up grabs Reich's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like proper like squeeze, but of course he's actually not that strong. And he just smiles and he just kind of leans back.
I squeeze his hand back. I say, I'm needed elsewhere. I fear our friends may be causing trouble. I look at her and I say, I look at Mika,
mm-hmm.
and I say to her, you told Kieran and Luca he was dead, correct?
Yes.
Is there someone around? Is there one of those
little?
Is there one of those gnomes around here? The ones that can send magical messages?
Gnomes?
Halflings. I don't know. I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't tell the difference.
I can get somebody to send a message for you. Yes, but
I need one quickly because she will be causing trouble and probably killing someone if we do not let her know soon.
I will get my hands on one as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
Okay.
Wait. Thank you for everything.
Of course. And she what was I gonna say? They start tending to Stalbor's wounds, taking care of him, making sure he's good. It takes a while, but eventually a gnome does come walking in to the room. And so when the gnome comes walking into the room and he's dressed extremely well, you know, it's one of those like, yes, it's a fantasy era, but he's wearing a tux. Yes, a proper tux. And
I'm gonna walk over. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. He comes walking into the room and he's very pursed-lipped. He has his glasses at the very, very tip of his nose, and he comes walking in with a very fine journal in one hand and a very large feathered quill in the other. And he walks into the room and looks about.
Are you one of those Are you one of those guys that can send messages?
Civis.
Thank you.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
that's how
I am in fact here to aid you with the sending of a message. I heard it needed to be instantaneous.
Yes, please. I apologize if I pulled you away from something.
Do not
I
fret,
need to
sir.
send-
I am, of course, here to serve you. But before you tell me what it is that you need to tell me, you first tell me, may I, do you require my forgetting it?
No, that is unimportant. I need you to send to Kieran Delirandar the message: Stalbor lives. Come back immediately.
Kieran Delarendar, Stalbor lives. Come back immediately. Absolutely.
Exactly.
And so he opens up his book. He writes with a quill for a couple of moments. And then he places 2 fingers on top of like the ink that he had just written. You see him close his eyes and think for a few moments. You do see a bit of a glow coming from somewhere underneath his tux. You see like just like a little bit of a shine happening from underneath there. And then all of a sudden, Kieran, in your mind, you hear a message coming ipso facto through a member of House Civis from Reich Talan, saying, it says, Stalbor lives, come back immediately. Do you respond?
On my way.
Okay, he blinks a couple of times and looks at you and says, she says she'll be on her way.
I thank you immensely. What do I owe you for the service?
The charge will be rolled into the sum that you owe House
Jarasco.
Thank you. DM forgot.
He like goes and
was
looks
like,
at the plaque on the wall. Like,
You have been immensely helpful. Thank you. Truly, thank you.
Of course, if you ever need any more services, please feel free to contact House Civis. We are always here to serve. And with that, he actually gives like he pulls his legs
actually,
tight together, gives like a very slight bow, and he turns to walk away.
All right. Well, if he walks away, I just kind of stop. Like, I turn to one of the people who seem the least busy, and I say, "Is it appropriate to tip them? I do not understand this business."
Stabble laughs and then coughs.
So the woman actually kind of snorts a little bit, but not because like Stalbor found it amusing because he just thinks it's cute or whatever. They snorted, and she says, "What is it?" She says, "If you knew how much he made."
How much did that cost? And then Reich's just like, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah.
But at that, I go and like.
You saved lives, Eric. Thousands of lives.
I go and I sit back down on like my resting place, and Reich lays back down, comforted in the thought that he was not responsible for Stalbor's death.
Okay.
And scene.
Okay. And with that, we can actually take our. It's funny that Ollie calls it there, because with that, we can take our first break, and when we come
Bitch,
back,
I know it.
when you come back from your first break, I will. I'll have the whole party reunite. Big hugs for Stalbor! Yay!
I don't think he can handle many hugs.
Yeah, I know. He's literally got a hole in his chest at the moment.
Faraway hugs, mental hugs.
I hope you guys weren't too worried about that.
Yeah.
Lil, you fuck.
Fuck you, man.
Good thing I didn't kill.
See you in a moment.
Yeah. What if Kieran killed the bishop?
Oh, did you